Now let's go ahead and finish up the headlamp. So the portion of the headlamp we want to create now is a sort of frame that goes around the lamp. If we take a look at this sort of piece right up here. So we'll use the existing frame that we have, and I've just deleted the back row of polygons. I had a few too many in there, I think. They were kind of intersecting. So rather than kind of squeeze everything together, I just deleted those and then pulled that row out a little bit. So if yours is intersecting, you might want to take a look at that. But I'm going to go ahead and use this geometry as a basis for creating the frame piece that we're going to be building. So I'm going to go ahead and just hold down Shift as I scale this out. Okay, and that'll give me a copy that's a little bit bigger than what we've got here. I'm going to go ahead and just move it out just slightly. Okay, so now what I want to do is get rid of any of the polygons in here that I don't want. So in this case, I don't need any of the polygons inside here. So let me go ahead and isolate this. I don't need any of these polys right in here, so I can delete all of those. Okay, and then I don't need any at the top either, so I'm going to go ahead and just grab those. And then at the top, I don't need these as well. Okay, I can now go ahead and take some of these points and just kind of shape them into this sort of shape right in here, which we don't have at this point. Okay, go ahead and just pull those down into the correct shape. If we get something like that, we may need to go ahead and pull those out a little bit. Okay, so if we grab these, go ahead and grab all of these, and then just go ahead and scale those out slightly. All right. And so now we can go ahead and before we even add our thickness to this, we can go ahead and start to bridge this geometry across. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out a little bit more. And then I'm going to take these two edges and these two edges. Okay, now let's go ahead and do a bridge. And if we go into our wireframe, you can see that it's extending straight across. I'm going to add a few segments in there. And I want to leave one segment in the middle just in case I want to mirror this. So I've got 6 segments there. So I'll go ahead and say OK to that. And let's go ahead and now choose all of those vertices and go ahead and bring those out. Okay, so I'll bring them out just to the furthest point. Okay, and I want to leave a little bit of room to add the thickness there. And now we can come in and start to shape this a little bit. So these 2 rows you probably want to bring in a little bit more. And then these 2 guys, I want to go ahead and bring those back a little bit further and go ahead and bring that scale out a little bit. So these are kind of over here. And now I can start to bring some of this up. So I can take these points, bring them up and over, and you can look in your side view as far as where you want these to go. Okay. So we'll go ahead and look in the side view here just to kind of get the correct shape. And we'll match it up as best we can there. Alright, so now that we have this shape, go ahead and exit isolation mode here. Now that we've got this shape, we can go ahead and add some thickness to this. So one of the quickest ways to do that is just to add our shell modifier. Let's go ahead and add an inner amount. Okay, right up there. So it's got quite a bit of thickness there to that. And as we're in here, we've got this shell on here. We can go ahead and take our vertices and just pull those forward a bit so that it's not quite intersecting with the lens. Go ahead and pull that forward a bit. Alright, so if you like the thickness of that, you can go ahead and then collapse the stack, convert that to an editable poly, and then we probably want to add some resolution in here. Select that ring, go ahead and do connect with a couple of segments, and then pinch that out. Okay, and you might want to go ahead and modify some of the smoothness on here as well. We'll go ahead and add a turbo smooth to this. So go ahead and smooth that out a little bit. Create something like that. And then we can start to take some of these polygons that are created and build out some of our different details. So I'm going to take both of these points here and just move those down a little bit. And then I'm going to take these polygons here, and let's actually take just these here and then these as well. Okay, we'll go ahead and do an inset, very small amount, and then an extrude. Again, extrude that in, small amount. Okay, and apply that. Okay, and then another small inset. And then we'll do the same thing here. Okay. Do an inset. And then do our extruding. Small amount to begin with. To add that resolution, pull that in. Apply that. And then do an inset. Okay, and that'll give us a little bit of that detail up on the front there. Alright, we now need to add the lights on the side, and to do that, it makes sense, since we've already built something very similar, to go ahead and use that. So if I go ahead and grab that, and I'll just shift drag it up, make a copy of that, and go ahead and rotate that forward so the lights are facing in the correct direction there. Okay. And then we can just drop this in. We may need to do some scaling for this. I think it's probably a little bit larger. Go ahead and scale that up a bit. And maybe pull that out. And I don't know that it sticks out quite that far. If not, we can go ahead and grab those vertices and just pull that in along the world. Alright. Go ahead and grab those, and I'm just going to pull those up a little bit. And then we can go ahead and mirror that over to the other side. If you want to grab this, and if it doesn't extend far enough back, you can always go ahead and add a deformer to that. Okay, just grab those control points and just kind of move it back. Okay, if you have that issue. Okay. So go ahead and now mirror that light over to the other side. So now that we've got the headlight finished out, let's go ahead in the next lesson start to block in the handlebars and grips. So we'll do that next.